Cusco, and this is Right Because It Matters. And today I have the pleasure of having not only a wonderful, amazing man, but one of my dear friends, Harlan Wheeler. And Harlan is a best-selling author, poet, inspirational troublemaker, and entrepreneur. He calls himself the warrior of inspiration, and he has a very popular Facebook page where he puts an inspirational quote up every single day. He also wrote the book of inspirational quotes called Think More Like the Mountain and Less Like the Climber. His latest book, Zombie Killing Guide, tells his fascinating story of how he turns tragedy into one of the greatest learning experiences of his life and teaches readers how to create a life of love, inspiration, and abundance, and how to kill your own inner zombie, which he's going to tell us more about. Harlan is also a hot-blooded health nut and raw foodist and lives on a farm on Mount Hood, Oregon with his wife and many inspiring animals. Hi, Harlan.
Hi, Zigzag.
And
Don.
Tell me the name of the goose that you, Penelope?
I have Penelope the kissing goose.
Oh,
that I trained to kiss.
I love her.
She may kiss a little harder than you'd like, but she does.
That's great. So let's just jump in. Tell us about your journey to becoming a writer and a poet. Let's just start there. What was your journey to writing and poetry?
My journey, I think this began with my accident.
Mm-hmm.
And I had, as you had mentioned, I had a tragic accident. And I recovered from the accident. And I took a look at my inner life and said, this is not working. Mm-hmm. I need change.
Wow.
My journey into writing and poetry was very simple. I saw an ad for a coach, an older gentleman, that said, come to me and I'll get you what you want.
Wow.
I went to him intrigued. He looked like Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And I said to him, this is what I want. I want to run a half a marathon and I want to write a best-selling book.
Wow.
To me, okay, I can get you that. What are you willing to give up?
Wow.
Well, 70 pounds of overweight to start with, an elephant-sized herd of bad habits. I'm willing to give up all of those to get what I want. He said, this is going to be simple. How often do you run? I said, I'm 70 pounds overweight. I don't run.
Jeez.
He said, how much do you write? And I go, I do not write.
Wow.
That was 13 years ago. Fast forward. Here I am.
That's amazing.
Poet, inspirational troublemaker.
I didn't even realize that. I actually, that's great. I honestly thought you were going to say you'd been writing since before then. Somehow I missed that part in our journey together because you write you write a lot.
Yes, every day.
Yeah, every day. Well, you're also a very successful entrepreneur of a multi-million-dollar company.
Yes.
Now, here's the question. Where do you find the time and how does it balance out?
It's like a band of musical instruments that you play a rhythm, somebody plays the bass, and it all comes together.
Wow.
This business that I have, for example, if I go back a dozen years ago, or during my transformation, I had a horrible business with horrible employees.
Wow. They
They hated me for not making them more successful, and I hated them for not making me more successful, and it just functioned. But there was no love, there was no passion, there was no inspiration in it. Because of my turnaround and coming out of this zombie slumper that we talked about, it was in perfect harmony by me being more creative with what I do in art, poetry, writing. It goes right into the business. And within years, I doubled my $1 million company to $2 million a year, to 3, to 4, and it's still on the upswing.
Wow.
So these are things that can balance out.
Yes. That's amazing. And just for the audience to know, You act before this business, before your multi-million-dollar businesses. You actually did struggle with a few other businesses. It wasn't, you're not like the overnight success. You actually put a lot of blood and sweat and tears into your life. Then you made it, but it was, like you said, you were just functioning. I love that line. I've never heard that before. And now you're really living.
Keep in mind, I made it and lost it.
That's right.
Then I made it and then I lost it.
That's right.
And then I made it. And I'm keep making it. And I'm not losing it.
That is a fantastic. We love, everyone loves that those kinds of stories. It's the hero's journey,
It was a journey, yes.
So you're also a painter, and you create inspirational posters on that Facebook page that we all love. Can you tell us how social media has helped you build a platform and an audience?
Okay, I'd love to. First, I started out with this way for social media. I had a mailing list of about 12 of my friends, an email. For 2 months, I wrote a quote, said, "Good morning, here's a quote to make your day happier." And I sent it to them for 2 months. And then I quit. And about 2 weeks later, every one of them wrote me back and said, "Where's my inspiration?"
Oh, I love this.
I look so forward to it. So I took that from the email to Facebook, social media, and I did that for about a year. But when I started putting it to my art, my photography, and other people's art, which I try to give them credit, when I started mixing it and matching it together, that's when it exploded. Wow. Because in essence, they're posters that you can print out, hang in your house. I've had people tell me they make deck of cards out of them and carry one in their wallet every day, and it just goes on and on from the feedback I get to what people do with my posters. It's amazing.
It is amazing. I still, when I'm having a day, I go straight to your book. Think like the mountain, not like the climber. And I open it up, and I just open it up and I read it. And I'm amazed at how it's laid out with the pictures and your words. And you've got thousands more, which is amazing. But I just think that's and you do this every day, no matter come thick or thin, right?
Yes, this is what it's about. I write every day because when you do something every day, it becomes a habit. Mm-hmm. That's the good news. Mm-hmm. Bad news is when you don't do something every day, that becomes a habit.
Ooh, that's good.
So I write every day. My theory is write. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's shit, it's going to be used for fertilizer somewhere down the road. I can go back to it, but write every day, no matter what. And just collect it on a document, and you'll always have stuff to go back and go, oh, what was I thinking that day, and what can I craft it into now? What can I rewrite it?
I love that.
So most of the time, I wake up every morning, jump out of bed, and I go, I cannot wait to see what I write today. Because I know by the time it gets online, it will be amazing.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I just don't know what it's going to be yet.
They are very different, and that's what I love. I love the sometimes the picture I would never expect with the quote, and I love how you add humor in just by the images.
And I cover all aspects. I cover love, business, habits, success. I cover the whole genre. Everything that has to do with being inspired or inspiration or success.
You really embody the idea of this summit in terms of write because it matters. I mean, if there's one thing that I think you kind of wrap it together in the sense that you write to connect to people, you write to help people, you write because it feels good to connect, and you know that even one sentence a day, which is what you do, no matter what. I mean, you do more than that, but no matter what, one sentence a day, it matters. It could help someone. Who knows what it could do to help someone? Can you tell us any stories about how you know it matters?
I can remember probably 10 years ago, actually, in my mailbox at my house, getting letters from people, starting to get letters from people telling me how I've changed their life, how I impacted their life. And it was like, to me, it was like, this is my first piece of fan mail. That's how I saw it. But I continue people make me things and send things to me, and I'm there really to inspire them. And that's the connection. We're all in this together.
Yeah.
Connect with them, and getting those little, the email, every day I get a dozen or two emails saying, thank you, you're the best, keep doing what you're doing, you've changed my life, you helped me with my body, my food, my health, my attitude, you helped me, and it's just, that's what counts. That's why I do it. I do it because I'm helping somebody, and there's not a better feeling than helping. I can make money. I have a business. I do that for free because I want to help people.
Yeah, that's great. That's amazing. Well, this goes right into in your latest book, which is coming out in the next few months. It's called The Zombie Killing Guide. You talk about how you turned tragedy into an incredible transformation, which is really kind of a memoir, really, of how you've gotten to where you've gotten. And you literally changed everything in your life, like you mentioned, to create the life that you love. And you use this metaphor of the zombie.
Yes.
And not just the walking dead around us, people who are just following whatever, but also the way that we get caught up in that, and we can chop off our own zombie head. Can you tell us more?
Inside. We're dead inside.
Tell us more.
Yeah.
You realized you were turning into a zombie.
Yeah. The tragedy was, to get into the details, the tragedy was an car accident. And two people lost their life that were stalled on the side of the road in the middle of the highway lane that I hit, and they lost their life. And when I got out of the hospital and started looking at my life, I realized, as a metaphor, that I was a zombie. I had no direction. I had no passion. There had to be more to life. I had to have a calling, a purpose. There had to be something. And when I started looking into it and trying to get, how do I get out of the shell, going to meeting different people, motivational people, learning about different foods to make you healthy, going to the gym, meeting inspirational coaches, hiring coaches and stuff, I started to realize that there are so many people out there not living the life of their passion. They're not living it. And it's just, I just say, my property, I had a parking lot size full of zombie toys. I had everything a person could want. Motorcycles, choppers, boats, quads, you name it. But I wasn't using them. I didn't enjoy life. I wasn't looking up at the wild flowers on the mountain, enjoying the hikes. I wasn't doing that. I was in what I later, in my book, described as I was part of this zombie stew.
That's right.
Zombie stew. They want everybody in this pot. They want you sick. They want you broke. They want you overweight. They want you to have erectile dysfunction. They want you to have all that so they can sell you their product. And basically, if I go into somebody's house, I can look at their house, their car, their medicine cabinet, their icebox, their clothes, and they will have the nerve to tell me, well, I don't watch TV very often. I don't read the paper very often. I'm not. But they are in that zombie stew. We're being cooked in it all the time.
All the time. The
corporations are strip mining us like an old mine, leaving all the pollutants left for us to deal with. And all we're out there is to do our 8 to 5 grind. There's a life to that.
And when you were in the accident, they just fed you full of painkillers and all kinds of antidepressants or whatever before you even realized that was another level of the doctors just keeping you, because now you're fit, you hike, you're agile. I mean, they told you you weren't going to do any of that.
Right. Yeah, zombies should never take medication, especially if I said I had a truckload of bad habits. The smoking, the drinking, the pain, the medicating myself, whether illegal or illegal.
Yeah.
That was part of the problem. And then you go to the doctors and they go, oh, well, let me add to the problem.
Absolutely.
And that never gets you out of it. That never saw, if you're an alcoholic and you go to AA, well, here, let me give you some whiskey to take home.
Yeah.
Solve your problem. Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
No.
You have to treat everything, mind, body, spirit, and soul, everything as one thing, not 4 things. Not a psychiatrist, a medical doctor, this and that. It's all connected.
And the people you surround yourself with. You were saying how zombies will surround themselves with other zombies and not even know that they're in the stew.
Most of the zombies I know, my friends, do not know they are infected and they are carriers, but they are. They really are. And zombies tend to hate very happy, overly happy, motivated, inspiring, successful people.
Yes.
They hate them.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, you do always, in any level of success, and I've heard this from the masters on, you always end up with a new set of friends.
Absolutely.
Because you have to get away from the ones that want you in the old program. You really have to find people that are in, all my friends five years ago are all different from my friends of today.
Absolutely. I noticed that with when people are saying if they're not creating or if they're not writing or whatever it is they're not, usually they do find along the way they're going to have to change who they surround themselves with, because those people are keeping them in what I love that you use zombies too. I'm going to go back to that. Your book is so fun to read because of the way that you give the analogy of the zombie, that at the same time that it's almost terrifying, because we realize just how everything is, you have to be very selective so that you don't get infected. It also adds that sense of humor to it, which I think lightens up the reader to want to do the exercises in your book and want to take action to change their life. You use the zombie analogy throughout the book, and it is so much fun because it adds a sense of humor to what's actually a very serious thing going on. And your goal is to help people transform themselves by using the zombie language. Did you have fun writing it? And
I had a lot of fun with that. I mean, this is like, if we all had a choice and we had a bottle that we could rub and a genie would come out and we would not be addicted to cigarettes and we'd be in shape. If we all had that and we could rub it and get it, we would all want it. We just don't want to go through the effort of doing it, and the exercises of doing it and all that change. One of the things always asked to me about young people is they say, do I really have to give up my friends that are holding me back? Back on this, first of all, most of your family are the zombies and the zombie carriers, and your relatives and all of your friends are some carrier or they have some degree of infection, and you do have to find all new friends and all that to get out of that stew. So
wow,
that's the analogy I use. I think it's a perfect analogy. You can actually go and as a test, check this out. Walk, I live by a local Fred Meyer's. Walk in there and just look at the zombies walking around. Look at what they're buying. Look at how they socialize with each other and talk to each other. It's like The Walking Dead. Every person I see, I make eye contact with. I try to say hi. I can assure you, if I stop at a gas station, they know my name before I leave. I had a doctor's appointment today, some x-rays, and I introduced myself as the inspirational troublemaker, gave all the nurses, everybody my card. By the time I came out of the dressing room from being done 45 minutes later, they all came up to me and said, I went on your website and you have made my day.
Aww. That's
just what I want to do every day. When I go to the store, gas station, I don't want to walk and be the zombie.
Yeah. And you did go through a lot of hardship. I mean, it's great to see how you've turned that all around. And you did mention, to me personally, this thing called quantum change versus regular change, and you have it in your book. And I think, if I get this right, let's see, quantum change can happen instantaneously, and sometimes you lead up to it, and then boom. Whereas other times change takes more, a longer time. Can you? And then you were saying something about how quantum change is in nature. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, this is a lot of times quantum change could be an epiphany, and also you change instantly. But the thing is, in nature, it can happen as easy as a snake would shed its skin. It's doing it all the time in nature. And my book, and the theory behind the quantum changes, you can actually make that happen for yourself, and you can make it happen to other people. A good example is one of the stories I tell you about was a salesman who was number one for a while, a young kid, For about 4 or 5 months, it goes to the bottom of the pile. It loses all his confidence, can't sell, can't do anything. And I tell this great story where I hide across from his house in the bushes because we're going to have a morning meeting. And I narrate this whole story that I'm going to do. And I went up to his front porch. I put 5 $100 bills wadded up on his front porch. I backed up to the bushes. I filmed him. He came out. He saw the money. He unfolded one thinking it might be $1, and it's a $100 bill. He unfolds them all. 20 minutes later, we're at our breakfast meeting at a restaurant. There's about 25 of us. Here's the kid that was number one at one time, now at the bottom, no self-respect. Nobody looked up to him. He came in and said, "You're not going to believe what happened to me today. I found $500 on my front porch." And that day was the change of his life. He became the number one salesman again. And did with as long as he was with me for 4 more years. But I never told a single soul about it for 6 months because I wanted to see if I was the one responsible for that instant quantum change. In business and sales, they always say it's between your ears. Ears. You can change anything. You can change instantly. It's between your ears. So
That's great. Yeah, I remember the story. It's great. And it goes like along the lines of like chopping off your own zombie head in order to get the quantum change. But you actually wanted to prove that it's possible, and it worked.
Yeah.
And I love that you just take your own change. The fact that you experienced, and I think this is great about writing, the fact that you did something to experience quantum change in your life and then wanted a way to get other people to experience that too. And I think that through the arts and especially through writing, we have the ability to just inspire so many more people. So tell us, again, let's go a little bit back. Tell us a little bit more just about writer's block. Have you ever, you started 13 years ago to write again, that quantum change. You said, hey, I need it. You went and found Jim, which is one of my coaches too. We both know Jim.
Right. And Jim sent me to you as a writer.
As the writing coach, but you had already written.
A mental coach.
Yeah.
You were the one that started encouraging me, saying, look, you made me read some of my stuff out loud.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
Did you understand that? That is good. You were the one that really gave me the encouragement to lay myself out there in the public. So that's what I thank you for.
Oh, yeah, but you were already doing it. You showed up with a book, almost complete. And
yeah, but I have never showed it to anybody.
That's right. I get that from a lot of people, that we have this a lot of writers have a hidden world before they step out. And we are all our worst judges. All of us. We're the worst. We are the worst judges for our own work. And then you just started writing. And I know that you did encounter a little bit of writer's blocks here and there with that first book. Yes. Can you tell us how you got through that writer's block?
Okay. Well, I don't believe in writer's block, but it happens. If you want to call it that, you can. When I experienced it, there's so many other things that you can be doing. You could still be writing. If your writer's block on a chapter or something, just go on. Maybe there's some research you could do. Maybe you could read some things and say, that one thing I wrote, maybe can I write it a little bit better? It's not really a block. It's just that I think you have nowhere to go with that story. It's not coming to you at that time. So I don't want to blame it on a block. I don't want to accept that I have the writer's block. I told you earlier, if I write and it's shit, it becomes fertilizer. So there's no such thing as block. You just move on to something that is coming out of you that day. Something will come out if you just write.
I love it.
Put the time in.
I love it.
The questions everybody asks me. They go, Harlan, do you wait till you're inspired to write? And of course I have to be inspired to write. But the bad news is, at 7 o'clock every morning, when my fireplace is going, and my incense is burning, and my music is on, and I'm in front of the typewriter writing, that's when I get inspired. In other words, when I put in the work, then I get inspired.
Yeah.
I'm not waiting to be inspired. I'm working on it, and then it comes to me.
That's great that you should say that. There's actually a quote somewhere, I don't know why, they say, you don't wait for the muse You
Yeah.
sit down and the muse comes to you.
The muse comes to you when
Yeah.
she sees that you are working.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. Now you've done a lot of self-publishing, which is, very good. People love that.
Right.
Tell us why you like self-publishing.
Well, I wanted to break it on the market, and because I own a big company and because I consider myself a good salesperson, I just wanted to try to market things myself. That way it's in my control.
I was going to say control.
And actually, I was surprised at the amount of money that I actually made off of it. I mean, because, you can sell your book to a publishing company and get $1 a book, or
Right.
do it, get $10 a book if you just put it on Amazon.
Definitely.
So both, I think it depends on the topic, the subject. I think they're both important. I think you need to figure out which one's going to work best for you. Self-publish, or go to the publishing company, or go back and forth. I've heard great stories of both. I've heard people who have been published, 10 books, didn't make a penny off of 10 books in their life, took them, got the rights back, self-published them, put them on Amazon for, cheaper, and then made more money off the self-publishing than publishing.
Yep.
So it's kind of a crazy world and a new world that we're living in with the self-publishing.
No, I love it. Do you happen to have the cover of your new book available?
Yes, I do.
Because I love that cover, and when you self-publish, you have control over the cover.
Yeah, and this is my first design, but this is my design.
Wait, up, keep going.
Okay.
Keep going. There it is. How it goes from monkey to zombie to businessman. I love it.
We evolved into a zombie for staying.
I love it.
Corporate people want us to do.
Yeah.
This is what I used to be.
Yeah.
I used to be the zombie, and that's what I am now.
I love that. I really do. Any advice that you would like to give the audience?
Yeah.
About writing and keeping and going with it.
Yeah, I would do it by this. I have a quote that I would read as a favorite quote out of this book that you like. I think more like the mountain, not like the climber. And this is a simple quote. And it says, if you will fall in love with your future and you travel there every day, it will take you wherever you want to go.
Aww.
And you can look at that literally, figuratively. It just means when you write, you're writing your future. You're writing maybe your business future. But you're seeing yourself down the road. And you fall in love with what you want to be. I want to be this. I fall in love, so I'm visiting my future in my mind. So many people are living in the past anyway. I want to visit my future. My future is looking good to me. And I want to keep it looking good, but I want to go there and see what it's going to be like.
Yeah, and in the present moment, you almost embody your future so that you get there.
Yeah, you are. You're visualizing it and creating.
That's fantastic. I love that.
You're telling the genie what you want, as opposed to most people telling the genie in the bottle what they don't want.
Right. So Harlan, this is so exciting. You have a great free gift to offer the audience. Can you tell us about your free gift?
Yes, I can. I want you to get busy killing your inner zombies. So I'm going to send you 2 free chapters of my new book so you can go to work on that instantly. And also, I am going to send you the most beautiful quotes that I've written and inspirational posters that I've created to you digitally so you can print them out and frame them.
Oh, that's awesome. And your pre-sale, tell us a little about that.
Yes, there's a pre-sale button that if you register and hit the pre-sale button, you will save 20% on my new book.
Oh, that's so great. I can't wait to read it. It's going to be so much fun.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Harlan. This has been so great. I love that you're the Renaissance man, right? You do it all. And what I want to really express to people is that you don't just have to be a writer or a poet or an entrepreneur, that all these avenues of life are really fulfilling, and doing it with your whole heart, killing that zombie and just going for it is really living. It's living a full life.
Yes.
So,
May I add one thing?
Yes.
I remember about 9 years ago going to your poetry class that you hosted, and I had never written a poem. I wrote one I had in my pocket to read. I realized it would be too embarrassing because the other people were professional. But since that time, I've had over 50 poems published.
That's right.
And I'm in love with poetry. And that was because of you and your poetry class.
Oh, that's amazing. You know, I really believe that with the right support, there are so many great poets out there. But you definitely took that one and ran with it. So thank you. Keep inspiring everyone. I love it. Because I know that just by being around you, so many people are doing more and more things. And that's what we want. We want everybody to embrace life.
Thank you for the compliment. I love you, and I will talk to you later.
Okay, thanks so much, Harlan, and give Penelope a kiss for me.
I will.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.